Hi, Mitesh here. I just want to go through a fundamental exercise with you, which will help you with your core strength. It will help you with your lower back, with your glutes, get your hips active and your abdominal muscles working. The reason obviously for this is we spend an awful lot of time sitting at a desk on a chair while we're troubleshooting, debugging code, trying to figure out how to architect the solution. Before you know it, hours can fly by, and in that time you've probably not moved very much. This pattern is repeated every day for weeks on end. As a result, what tends to happen is these key muscle groups tend to switch off because they're not being used every day. So the brain starts to think that these muscles don't need to be active, so they automatically get switched off. When they get switched off, that's when you start to struggle with your lower back, your posture, because you'll tend to slouch more because the muscles aren't working to keep you upright. You have a whole host of problems because of the lack of movement in your day-to-day job as a coder. While we're sitting, focusing, debugging, learning, coding, and trying to figure out how to solve problems, etc. Although we're getting better in our chosen careers, in our chosen hobbies, in our chosen craft, we're actually over the long period neglecting what's probably the most important thing, which is our health, especially with the lower back and surrounding muscle groups. So I would say if you're a developer like myself, it's absolutely vital to keep healthy and to keep your muscles active and working. Otherwise, if you end up with an injury, like I did with myself, it can really take it out of you. You can start to have a whole host of problems, which will not only affect your career, because you'll struggle to sit for longer periods and focus, and you'll have pain and discomfort. You'll also that will transpire into potentially your job as well, because you won't be working at your best as you could be. So it's absolutely vital to make sure your key muscle groups are active and doing their thing while you're doing your bit. To get started, the fundamental exercise to do is the bird dog. Now this can be done at home, it can be done in the gym, and we can add other variations to this to add resistance to get us started in a safe way and get key muscle groups active and working before we move on to other more intermediate to advanced type based exercises. So let me go through the bird dog exercise with you. It's very easy to do. If you find yourself you're shaking, you're struggling, then that's the indication for you to see that your core muscle groups aren't active and they're weak. Hence why it's not allowing you to do the bird dog quite effectively as you could be. In which case, more practice, so you can get your key muscle groups working and stabilize, which will then allow you to move on to other more advanced type exercises, which I will cover in this course. Okay, so to do the bird dog, we get on all fours. So both arms, leg onto knees, and what we're going to do is we're going to tense our abs. So just to tense our abs, and we're going to take one leg out, say left leg out, and the right arm out simultaneously. So we'll be fairly parallel to the ground. During this time, we will hold this bird dog position, and we will be tensing our mid core section, and then we'll come back. And then we'll do the same again. hold it for a few seconds, and then come back. And then your mileage may vary. Initially, you may only be able to do it for 1 or 2 seconds. As you progress in your strengthening, in your core stability, you'll find you'll be able to do it for a lot longer, in which case you hold the amount of times you're able to do the bird dog. We then do the same on the opposite side. So what we then do is we get on all fours again, and this time we take the right leg out and the left arm out, like that. Keep your abs tense. Like I said, if you're shaking, then it's a good indication that your core muscle groups aren't active, which means they're not doing the job as they should be. So you need to spend more time doing this exercise. So this can be done at home, this can be done at the gym. If you're working from home, which I know a lot of us are at the moment with the lockdown, we can fit it in between while we're working. So to give you an idea, if you can do maybe 10 reps on one side and 10 reps on the opposite side, maybe first thing in the morning, last thing at night, so maybe twice a day, every day for the next 5 days. Slowly increase the reps, so maybe move from 10 to 15 to 20. Slowly increase the amount of seconds we hold the bird dog stance. That will get the muscles working and active, and obviously as you progress you will find it becomes easier to perform, and at that point it's time to add more resistance, which I will cover in other episodes. That's all for now. Thank you.